What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back with more Dokkan. We have not talked about Cell Max, not for lack of trying, we'll have to admit, but I finally nailed the win on this bad boy. So let's talk about the team I used. There are easy ways to do this, okay? So first of all, a lot of people have been using the AGL Pycon and the Int Mr. Satan / Hercule, whatever you want to call him. So let's talk about the units real quick, because I chose not to do them because I intentionally chose to do this the hard way. So Otherworld Pycon, basically, if we go down here, attack and defense 150, superclass allies key +2, plus the additional attack and defense 30%, with 3 or more type key spheres obtained, and at key +4, high chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack, and seals enemies' attack. It seals enemy super attack with rainbow sphere orb obtained. So one orb obtained, you're evading enemy's attack. So he becomes pretty nuts. Now you couple that with a unit like, well, if we go back out here, you couple that with a unit like the Tech Vegito, or Tech Gogeta. Basically, you couple that with Tech Gogeta. Tech Gogeta produces a ton of rainbow orbs. With these two on the team, you're evading everything. The other thing that people have done is they've used the Int Mr. Satan / Hercule, whatever you want to call him. High chance to evade enemies' attack, including super attack, reduces damage received by 50% to 90%. The less HP remaining, the less damage received. So basically, the more damage you've taken in battle, the less damage he's going to take. He kind of is like, those two units are basically cheat mode for this event. A lot of people are using them. Now, I specifically chose not to use those units because I kind of see those as cheesing the event. Now, they're good strategies. They're solid strategies. But I went with this team instead. I'm not even using a support memory because, believe it or not, most of the support memories actually hurt my rotations. All right, so getting into the fight here, I'm going to tell you guys right away, setting this up isn't the easiest thing. But if you pay attention and if you're really diligent with how you manage your team, this will be a piece of cake. I've had this numerous times set up nigh perfectly and just had one little faux pas, and I'll show you that faux pas. If, how that screwed it up. It probably will screw it up in this because I know how recordings go. They never go the way you plan. But here's the deal. I need to make sure that I have all my units on this rotation, but I also need to save the Super Saiyan 4s for turn 6. So I need to rotate them out on turn 3. So I'm not going to rotate them out here. I'm going to rotate them out next time they come up. So I'm going to go ahead and feed up Broly, have him do some damage. I'm actually not going to feed the Super Saiyan 4s because I don't want them to like go crazy, but I will feed Gogeta, or I say Goku and Vegeta. Tech Gogeta is pretty much integral to this. If I can get Gogeta to transform, that is a free Senzu, but it's not imperative. In fact, sometimes, as I'll show you here, it can actually hurt our strategy. But my strategy basically is to get, on turn 3, I need both attack units on a rotation, or pretty close to that. Turn 5, minimum. I've got to have both attack units on rotation. So we'll work towards that goal. Now, let's say tech, int units on rotation. I also need to make sure we take a certain amount of damage. So, the more damage we can receive, the better. The less healing we can do, the better. And the more, like, we can put units into, like, situations where they're going to actually be hit with some pretty heavy hits during the physical stage, the better. It's rare that the physical stage kills this team. It's happened. It's mistakes happen. But it's exceptionally rare. So incredibly rare that I think most of your risks are pretty well calculated. So, I need this to go out one more turn. That's why I didn't feed up the Super Saiyan 4s. So I fed the Super Saiyan 4s, this would be over in, quick, fast, in a hurry. They'll get 3, 4, SAs and not even think about it. So here we go. Cell Max. Now, I've got to keep the SSGs over here. I've got to keep them on rotation. So the solo SSG, I'm going to rotate off. Okay. Now, we're on the string stage, and I need to make sure that we end this on the string stage. So I'm going to go ahead and give them as much key as I possibly can without giving them on-color key. On-color key will absolutely mess up my strategy here. But we've got to finish off Strength Cell on this rotation. If he would stop dodging, that'd be great. Actually, if you guys get a crit, that'd be even better. Let's go. Critical? No crit. Come on, yeah. Come on, guys. Come on. You're on the spot here. We've got to finish this up this turn. All right, so we got another really good attack out of them. Let's go. Critical. No crit, but another really good attack will do the trick. All right, SSG, it's up to you. It really is up to you. Man, this is a nail biter here. Ah, and we got it. We got it. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. So that's why I say the RNG sometimes is like an absolute nail biter. Sometimes you're just like, how is this going to work? Is this even going to work? But great. We finished Strength Sell-Off in 2 turns. Now we're on the physical stage. On the physical stage, we want to last 3 turns. And I want to make sure that let's see. I want to make sure Vegeta's taking a decent amount of damage. Broly won't take much damage because Broly infinitely stacks. But I can't put Vegeta on the back line because I need Vegeta to basically stay on this turn. So I'm hoping that these AoEs hit hard enough on the Super Saiyan 4s. Now, the Super Saiyan 4s are not built up. So that'll be fine. I'm going to go ahead and feed Vegeta. We'll feed Vegeta that. I'm going to save the rest of that key for the next stage because I do need to make sure that Cell takes a certain amount of damage. But Cell has to go 3 turns, so I can't kill him. But I do need to make sure the Super Saiyan 4s like basically take a decent amount of damage here. So not building them up is going to kind of be the name of the game. That does put a lot of pressure on the Super Saiyan gods to get multiple attacks and maybe even some criticals. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. Broly also can do 2 or 3 attacks and criticals, so let's see what he does here. Got a crit. That's very nice. Double attack. Great. And a double SA at that. Can we get a crit on this? No crit. Okay. Third base attack with a critical, of course, because, you know, you can't... I love how the base attack with the critical did more damage than the SA. I mean, I understand the mechanics of that, but it still is hilarious to me. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Hit him with all you got. Good. That's what we need. We need damage like that. Sounds crazy, but that's exactly what I would hope to see. Now, I am not going to transform these units. If I transform them, we are in a world of hurt. So I need to build up their stacks a little bit more. So they've got to do as much damage as humanly possible, or Saiyanly possible, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. So here we go. Excellent. Excellent. This is a great rotation. Feel pretty confident in this. Now, the 2 SSGs have to stay in rotation. Gogeta, unfortunately, is getting rotated off. It stinks, but it is what it is. You know, it's not the end of the world. I also need to make sure that by the end of the next turn that I am below 50% health. I have to be below 50% health for this to work right. Some of you may be sensing what we're doing here. So let's go. Let's go. SSG. All right. Got a secondary attack. Can we get a critical on this bad boy? Let's go. Okay, we need more damage than this. So I'm slightly concerned that this is not going to go the way I want it to. But a 6 mil with a critical will definitely do the trick. Crit? No crit, but it was still a good hit. Okay, 3.9. Maybe we don't want a critical. Maybe we got enough multi-SAs. I think we'll actually be good. I think we'll be good. Okay. Starting to get a little worried, but you know what? The honest answer here is the less work we have to do on turn 5, the better. So I'm kind of okay with this, actually. Okay? Now, we're not going to take much damage here. It's not really going to be a damage turn. But we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Now, so long as these guys don't get, like, 2 or 3 crits, we'll be fine. So I really want them to just get 1 attack off. That'd be perfect. Just 1 attack, no critical. Perfect. No. Gentlemen. Gentlemen. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you finish him off. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so there's one big thing going on here that I have to be super cautious about. Now, we're not going to do active skills because I've still got to lose some health. I've got to be below 50% at the end of this turn. And that also means that Vegeta cannot get... Basically can't do any real attacks. So I'm hoping he doesn't crit, and I'm hoping he doesn't do any multis. I'm kind of sitting here really hoping he kind of soils the sheets. That or Cell goes ham. If Cell really hits him hard, I'll be ecstatic. I'll be extremely happy. But then we're basically going to rely on Broly to finish this up, and the Super Saiyan God, you know, will just be what he be. But I don't see this getting past Broly. Okay, this is excellent. Hit him for... Okay. A little bit of a nail biter on this one, but you know what? That's the way it goes sometimes. Now, Broly will finish this up. Broly's not going to take damage. Ooh. Come on, Broly. There we go. Okay. Not going to lie, was pretty nervous about this going down. Okay, so this is absolutely perfect. This is exactly where we want to be. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to see if I can replicate what we did earlier today. If not, then I'll go back and I'll basically show you the win that I got here. But let's see if we can pull this out. So herein lies the major problem with this event, and I see this way too often. Cell front-loading all these attacks makes this next to impossible. It's possible, but I can tell you right now, this was not a successful run. I'll actually play for you the successful one that I had earlier today. But front-loading these attacks means that even if I put Goku and Vegeta there, transform to Super Saiyan Blue, they still have to take the first attack before they will actually... They might dodge it, but odds of dodging that are pretty low. But they really have to take that first attack before they get their real dodge status. And if that's an SA, you can kind of kiss it off. If it's not an SA, it's still going to hit for 300,000 to 400,000. And then you really hope that the dodge comes in clutch. It might, but in the case of this run, it absolutely did. In fact, his first attack was an SA. So if you have this many attacks front-loaded, you could almost kiss this off. You could try it, but it's not likely to be terribly successful. Now, I'll run for you guys right now the one that was successful and show you how this actually should work. So that last run wasn't the glowing success I was going to hope for, so what I'll do is I'll show you the actual run that I won. It was set up very similar, almost identical in fact. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate around the Super Saiyan Gods and the Super Saiyan 4s. Basically put the unit that is most built up on the front side, and hopefully Cell's not attacking too many times. The biggest issue I've had, and this is very common, it seems like Cell stacks all of his attacks in front of the first attacker. And if that happens, you're done. I mean, Gogeta can dodge. It's possible. But if Cell does the big SA in the front, it's going to suck. So 4.2 mil critical is okay, but not great. 5 mil is actually really good out of the Super Saiyan 4s, but every one of these is going to be a little bit different. And it's going to average out to be about 15 mil. This was actually on the low side for one of my runs, but it comes out to be about 15 mil total just from those active skills. Now, you will need to feed up Gogeta as much as humanly possible. Same with the Super Saiyan 4, same with the other Gogeta. The one thing I did forget to do here is I've got to drop a Senzu, but don't worry, I'm going to remember to do that here in just a second. You do need to drop one Senzu bean on this. It does make a world of difference. Okay? You got to have full health. Got to have full health going into this strategy. Believe me, if you don't have full health, things are going to suck, because that move right there is going to kill you. But the best part is, once Gogeta takes an attack, that means that Gogeta's likely to tank all other attacks. So, taking that big attack is going to help out immensely. Now, the downside is if Cell does his SA, you're kind of shafted. Cell's going to hit for like 1.8 mil. It's going to not be a huge amount of fun. But if the dodge mechanic in these guys works out the way it's supposed to, you will absolutely just enjoy this. You're gonna be sitting pretty with this exact run right here. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I won't lie. there is a huge RNG factor in this, a massive RNG factor. And a lot of it comes down to where Cell stacks his attacks. If his attacks are in front of the first attacker, you can almost guaranteed kiss it off. It sucks, but it's just factual. All right, go Gogeta. And remember, every time they get an attack off here, they're not stacking necessarily. I mean, I think they stack one turn, but we're getting a little just harder and harder and harder for Cell to beat. Plus, a lot of the attacks going into this, leading up to this event, are going to make it harder and harder. Because remember, they retain their stacking, and then they do one turn stacking after this. So I think that's how they work, if I recollect. Could be wrong about that, but it is what it is. It's recording, I can't quite go back and change it. So, the Goku and Vegeta Blue, producing nice criticals here. Double attack with a critical. I don't remember now. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember whether they got a critical here or not. Let's hope they did, and they did get a crit. Triple attack, but it is only a base level attack. It is not an SA, and inducing fear in a Cell is exactly what you want. Now, getting all these dodges, also super duper clutch. You could probably tank maybe one at the most regular attacks there, but not SAs. So now here comes the interesting part. So you'll notice that we have a revival skill. That's the important part right there. We got to have that revival skill. Now, Broly takes the least amount of damage. I'm going to keep him in the front. Gogeta's going to produce an insane amount of damage. I'm going to keep him in the center. Vegeta's kind of worn out his usefulness, and I want to put him on the backside because we need to produce as much damage as possible. Notice how low Cell is here. There's a high likelihood we actually could kill Cell here. A very high likelihood we could kill Cell. Now, I got to keep Vegeta on the back. Vegeta's kind of my clutch unit. If things go wrong, he'll give us the revive, but if things go right, we'll win. Now, let's see what happens here. So, Broly, 2 mil. Wish I'd built him up a little more, but, you know, he doesn't quite build up like the 7th anniversary units. But we're getting, and we're not getting crits on this one either, but we're getting another attack here, another SA. Boom, he's also not an LR, so you can't really quite explain. Third attack. Can we get a critical on this one? Of course not, because why would you? But if you got criticals there, we'd be in a much, much, much happier place. Gogeta, on the other hand. Now, once again, you could drop a Senzu at the beginning of this, but I'll be honest with you guys, it's not worthwhile. And if I had waited to transform Gogeta, Gogeta would have been a free Senzu here. But the reality is, if I do that, then I don't have this right here. This is my ace in the hole. If you start this rotation with less than 50% health, which you're almost guaranteed to do, it's a rare situation that you don't start this. That had happened only once that you start this rotation without 50% health. Only once in all my attempts. Now, I've had other screw-ups, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, here's the best part. So now we've got a unit with damage mitigation, all these units that are pretty well built up. This guy should be dodging like crazy, so let's put Super Saiyan God here. We can't put him all the way in the back, but we'll put him right here. There's a lot of attacks going on here, but look how little health we have. If he doesn't clean this up, he should be able to mitigate any damage he's producing, but they'll probably clean this up. If not, I feel pretty confident he will, and I feel really, really confident that he will. So we can actually use On-Color Key now, if we had it available, to do a little bit of healing. These dodges are going to come in super clutch. Remember, they took an attack on rotation on turn 6, so now they're going to dodge like crazy. That's the best part about them. Their dodging now is going to come in super duper clutch. Second attack, we got a 5 mil attack stat. Can we get another critical? Let's see that beautiful critical here, gentlemen. No critical. And a third base attack. Oof. With a critical, though, so it was a good hit. Now, SSG. What you got for me, Meng? Beautiful. And because Gogeta was the last attacker, we got some absolutely wonderful fear. The downside is we just got hit pretty hard. But because we had fear and because we only had one attack there, this is perfect. Now, Gogeta is going to, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is going to finish this up. Bam. Look at that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you win this. Now, it's not an easy strategy to pull off. It took me 3 attempts just to get to the point we got in this video. And I will say, this took me a really long time to pull off. This is me screenshotting the bad boy. But there you guys go. It'll do it. It's just going to take a few attempts. The reality is, if it's like my prior attempt, where you get a whole bunch of attacks on the front line, you're going to hate life. But give it a few tries, you'll be good to go. You can cheese it, as I said in the beginning, with AGL PyCon and with Mr. Satan / Hercule. 100% a strategy. I just chose not to do it because I want to do this with a real, modern, relevant team. Not a cheese team. But that is a legitimate strategy. And that's literally just me and my Saiyan pride. So that's going to be the video, guys. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys thought of this in the comments down below. And I'll catch you all in the next one.